Hey everybody, welcome back to Kubar's Adventures in Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. I've had a lot of problems lately with recording. We're just here gonna fight these guys, I'm gonna bother with it. This is a post recording, because, see what happened is, while I was recording, I ran out of space, right? So I had to delete the old video because it was too big and I couldn't even shrink it, so I said, alright, thank God I saved beforehand. So I didn't get too many places. Then what happened after that is even after I deleted that and a lot of extra stuff to free up some space just to make sure it didn't happen again. And my memory was still at like nearly 0%, so I didn't know what was going on. But with some type of error, restarted, still the same thing. So I had to reset my entire computer. I saved all the after you don't need to know that. So I did that. And then came back, reinstalled everything. Took me hours, obviously. It's running smoother now, I think. But the thing is, after that, like, well, I recorded again, but my audio was all jacked up. I can only imagine that Audacity isn't working well with my headset now that I guess I have to pair it again. I'm not sure. But it is what it is. So this is a post recording. Maybe I'll just keep it to post recordings, you know. I think that might be a better idea to do that, so so I can like better sync the audio. Instead of trying to do it at the same time, which caused me errors. So I did that earlier with this as well. And let's just say I am thankful that it was saved. Anyway, let's get to this. Actually, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on The Witcher, because all we're going to do right now is some crafting. You know, a little bit of fight here and there, but mostly just going to be crafting and exploring a little bit. Nothing major happens in this episode other than the fact that I learned how to that you need a blacksmith. So, when I look at games, right, no matter what game it is, I run it under a couple criteria. Alright, two criteria very specifically, and then within that criteria. Right, graphics don't matter. Alright, a game I really love is Shovel Knight, and while it looks great for an 8-bit game, it doesn't compare to The Witcher in terms of fidelity. It doesn't compare to a lot of games in terms of fidelity because it's 8-bit. It's made that way on purpose, and it's a lot of fun. It's charming. Right? But you could do the exact same game in a more modern setting with more modern graphics and, you know, probably still love it. Right? So graphics mean very little. Well, graphics have importance in, like, only in the sense that running smoothly. Don't get immersion as well, but I view that more for horror games and stuff like that. Because I don't really care how great my fantasy world looks. You know, other than, oh, that's a cool-looking dragon or something. Right? I don't need the forest to be beautiful for me to have fun. In a horror game, you want the creatures and the monsters to be terrifying, and the better the graphics are, the more horrifying they can be. So there's importance there, but again, I've seen some creepy things in low res. So, the two criteria that a game must follow that must be factored are its gameplay and its story. Gameplay primarily above all else. Story is secondary no matter what. Now, as much as people may deny it or argue against it, I don't know. Video games are a medium for playing games. That means having fun. We get some here. No, we gotta go around to get the food. Yay, great. So, I'll tackle the story right now. Story is only good in context. Orcs Must Die, another game, one of my favorite games actually. Story is bare bones. It's literally an excuse plot. Why are you stabbing these orcs? Well, they're trying to destroy the world. Have fun. Do we want to understand them and their motivations, who their leader is, maybe the sum total of the wickedness of the universe is the evil gods? No one cares. Put traps down, kill monsters. Be good. Is that game fun to play, though? Oh, yeah, it is. I believe it is. A lot of people do, apparently. So, with those factors in mind, how does The Witcher stand up? Storyline-wise, I know it's going to have credibility. I played The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, where the story was good. You know? Intrigue, plots here and there, good characters. I'm liking the characters, like, very early on. Right? That first quest to deal with the Wraith, and the dad... Like, I honestly believe that was a sad dad. You know, so power to it for that. The other thing there is gameplay, and this is where it gets a little iffy for me. See, the combat in this game, it's simple. Now, I'm going to harp on about this probably a few more times, but in The Witcher 1, you had 6 styles. And that's just how I view it. You had 2 swords, well, you can use other weapons, but no one's going to use an axe or a dagger. They were going to use the swords. There was this one type of monster, like a plant monster, that you could use, that was with sweet torches. So, you know, I always did that, but for the most part, everything else, sword, still makes a sword. Good to go. And each of those had a different, 3 different styles to use. Fast, strong, fast, and group. You can just, like, and they were effective against different things. It wasn't just like, use strong style, put points in the strong style, and you power through everything. No. Some enemies you could not touch with the strong style. They dodge you. Some enemy, and then the fast style was more about you not doing damage. It was more about, you know, dancing around and hitting them a lot of times, which you weren't really going to do. And you stab back around! Maybe his foot. I don't know, I mean, I find that funny. I know it's just a game thing, but I was finding it funny. Sorry, yeah. With the using fast dance, something not just won't take a damage from it because they're too tough for, you know, little dancing strikes to hurt them, but a big cleaving blow, yeah, they'll do it. Group style is pretty apparent. I don't think I need to explain that one. Right, and then there's the obvious thing of blade coatings, you know, potions to use. The blade coatings and potions have been present through all the Witcher games, so, you know, good on that. And I understand why they would change that for, like, in the sequels, because, like, Geralt doesn't really, you know, fight like that from what I've seen in other stuff. He's not a dude dancing around, switching styles on the fly to group this, group that. No, he's just gonna act, you know? Which makes sense. I mean, if you want to be more immersive, which I think they're going for, you're not gonna sit there and be like, put your arms around, change style up, down, around, etc. to better fit the situation. You're just gonna react to what you have now. If it's a fast enemy, you're going to attack fast. If it's a strong enemy, you're going to attack with stronger strikes. As opposed to this style, this style, to this style, to this style. And obviously, it's more, though again, it's a bit more simple, and I know that it's not as simple in actual combat stuff. So, let's just say the combat's simple. Is it fun? Yeah, it's okay, I don't mind it. You know, once you get the hang of it a bit, you know, learn how to use art and dodge, you're going to have a decent time, I believe. After that, I mean, crafting is crafting. So we don't even need to think about that one. Find the stuff, make the thing. Like I said, I had a bit of issue here, because me being dumb didn't bother to think, like, oh, hold on, this, to go that, to close this thing here, to open that thing there. Okay. Menus. Read them. So that says just find the right stuff. Pay attention to what you're doing. It's crafting in every game. It's simple crafting. Something like Ark Survival, where you have to bind a whole bunch of things and learn how to put them together and unlock diagrams. And no, but it's not that type of game. So it's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Movement, though, I have issues with the movement. It irks me. You feel flighty and floaty, and you easily bump into things, and it's so much trying to, you know, turn to get to the right spot to do the thing. It's just like, I don't know, maybe part of that's me using a controller for it. the game does feel like it was built for a controller. I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't, but it feels that way to me. But yeah, it's just the movement is weird. The Witcher sense, don't like it. Storyline, like, so I mean, from a gameplay perspective, that's how it goes down. The choices are part of story; they're not part of gameplay. But the tactics, having to actually research the monster, like I had to look that thing up, and it tells you if this is the monster you're fighting. Look it up. Does it have weaknesses? Yes, Spectre, or Necrophage oil, certain types of bombs. I have a feeling I'm going to use more bombs this time around. The first Witcher, I never used a single bomb. I used potions and Ard. Never even used Quen. So at this point, I think we're reaching the thing. Like, so gameplay-wise, Witcher's okay. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not the greatest either. But again, I'm only a little ways in. And I'm kind of mucking about a bit doing these recordings as well, so I'm going to add extra time. I'll explain that in a second. Storyline-wise, I believe it. It's believable. I'm sure as it goes on, you'll fight more monsters and get more versed and whatever. And I fought a bear, and I was happy with that because it was actually it was a bit tough. You know, could actually hurt me. Now, the reason I bring this up now is I judge games, like I said, on those two criteria, but also on sections. The first hour of a game.
I'd like you to forge something for me.
And this is not universal, right? Okay, this is a bit universal. If it's a game that's based on levels, you go to this level, you do this mission and whatnot, as opposed to an action or an open-ended game, or like say an MMO or whatever, your first hour has to hook you in. Your first mission or first two missions have to hook you in. Right? Because the first mission could just be a tutorial mission that gives you the basics and you get to meet into it. And the second mission is like, alright, now have fun. You know, so you know what we taught you, here's the proper level to go at. Right? And then with an open-ended game like this, or anything else really, even something say Uncharted, right? The first hour of it, because the game, while it is level-based, it's still more or less not strictly level-based. It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say there, but I'm pretty sure your people are smart and you get it. You do it based on the first hour, which is the hook. In that first hour, you have to be interested enough to keep playing, incentivized even, and that means outside of being paid. Right? Like, I'm doing this for fun. If I was really bored with The Witcher and I'm like, I'm done, I would just not bother. I would not waste anyone's time with it. I would have put the first two videos up, showed you my, thoughts about it, and then third video would be like, all right, guys, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm sorry, I can't be bothered. It's not interesting to me. So that's the hook. Same with a movie. The first 10 minutes of a movie, the first episode of a show, they have to hook you. If they don't hook you, then there's no point going further. And yes, I use the argument, things get better if you stay with it. Okay, I can believe that, but that hook has to be there for me to be interested enough for it to get better. You could have a good hook, then a bad middle, and then a great end. Maybe not bad middle, but you get the idea. That brings me to my second thing. The second time. 3 to 5 hours or 5 levels. Now the reason I say this is that
we meet again.
After you're hooked
Thank you for saving me.
if you're interested enough to keep going,
People
the
say all
next
kinds
2
of things
to
about
4
witches,
hours is going to
I've
determine
always known yours to be
if
an
you're going to
honourable
enjoy
guild.
this.
So you managed to salvage some goods.
Yes,
Sorry if I'm talking over them.
but I await the repair
It's
of
the guy
my
with the
wagon.
griffin.
As
See, I told you
time
it was going to
passes,
help and whatnot
my
when
losses
helping him
grow.
out and not taking money.
Do you need something? I'll let it go
Half free. I
half
think it
free.
means half off. I'm pretty sure it means half off. I know I'm talking over everything right now. Just trying to
Let
get
me have a
thoughts
look at
now.
your
This is
stock.
post-recording, and nothing really that interesting happens in this episode. Hopefully next time it'll be a bit more interesting. I really need to get like a dual monitor setup so I can have like, Audacity on one monitor and the game in another. Because if I try and record it, where I can see both of them at the same time, it gives me a smaller picture, in the recording. Now, yes, 3 to 5 hours in. That's where you fought a few things. You've gotten your teeth into the main stuff of the game, the main parts of the game. You typically would have fought a boss or two by then, right? So you know what you're about. You know what you're going to be doing. And at that point, if you're still interested, then you might as well go all the way. And again, some games that can run for like 80 to 90 to 100 hours, which there are some out there. Okay, you'll need more than 5 hours. But really, 5 hours in, if you're not hooked for that long a game, you're not going to be hooked in another 6. Unless there's a point at 10, 12 hours where it might as well be a different game entirely. At which point, why didn't they just split the game into make 2 different games? But, nah, neither here nor there at this exact moment. And then, obviously, the last part 3, is the finale game. You've beaten it. That's when you got past the initial hook, you've gotten past the introductory, levels, areas, and whatnot, gotten to the meat of what the game's going to be about, and you complete it. Now, that part is always the interesting one, because that's where all the flaws will start to come in. Because no matter how good a game is, you will be playing it, and it will end up bad. At some point, in some way. Dark Souls, hailed as one of the most difficult and loved games in a long time. The first Dark Souls, mind you. You go through it, you beat a few areas, depending how fast you go. I'd say after 5 hours, depending on your skill level, you'll end up in Blighttown. If you go the way if you take the Master Key, you can go straight there, almost immediately. If you don't take the Master Key, you go the hard way, which, less said about that, the better. Right there, initially, the first rendition of Dark Souls, Blighttown was terrible. It was not good. The frame rate was bad. It was just, ugh.
Take care.
It wasn't even like, okay, this is so difficult. It was just bad. Right? Once you get past that point, right, and the rest of the game, it's golden. When it comes to The Witcher 1, I played it. The first hour, cool. The first 5 hours I spent in Act 1 doing everything else. It eventually did start getting a little bit tedious for me, because I'm like, alright, now I'm just walking around killing these things, but I was invested enough because, okay, I know there were ghouls or other monsters to fight. Okay, I can work with this. But there was a glaring thing that I realized there were going to be points of tedious, grinding against certain monsters. Then, the rest of the game came out, and yeah, by today's standards, it's nothing special, but I had a lot more fun, so I could view it that way. Because that's, like I said, the end of the game, that's when you do the side, up to your personal level, the side quests, you see the flaws, you see the good things, and you might as well complete the game at that point if you get past 5 hours. Unless you rented the game and you can't, or you borrowed it and you just don't care anymore. I don't know. Maybe you got the game for like $2 on like a sale or something, so who cares at that point? Never play it again after 5 hours, up to you. Now, applying this to The Witcher 3. The first hour, I was hooked. A part of that would be because of I played the first 2 Witcher games. I watched the show recently. I'm reading the books right now. Books are good, guys. Get the books. I mean, they're not going to blow you away, but they're good. I mean, they may blow you away. I mean, it depends on your taste. I'm only on the 2nd book right now. I'm almost done with it, though. That's the short stories. After that, I'm going to get into the actual novels. But yeah, I was interested enough in the first hour, seeing how it went. After that, the first couple, I'm not at the 5 hour mark yet. I think I'm safe enough to know that I'm obviously going to keep playing because I'm enjoying myself. These little things going around have a little more heart to it. I mean, I know it's only been wolves and ghouls and drowners. I don't know, I think maybe it's just because the combat flows better than Skyrim does. That could be it. Like, combat in Skyrim was just not much I can really more to say about that one, really. It's just okay.
Medallion's humming.
Place of power.
Place of power. It's gotta be. Not so fast, Roach.
Dusty's. I think. No, okay. hear a big sneeze and whatever, I'm sorry. But for the point, at this point now, you guys have my thoughts. The storytelling, I think, is the main draw here. The gameplay, it's fluid, I won't lie. The combat's fluid. Because it's fluid and a bit fast, and it can be challenging, because there are points when I honestly feel Geralt takes too much damage. So, I put that down. It's not difficult. It's easy to understand. Just, you know, dodge, dodge, hit, hit, dodge, dodge. If you do it right, you're good. You're golden. And I know, but again, I know the main thing with The Witcher is the story. Because, well, that's what it is. The story of The Witcher is the main draw of it. But yeah, okay. That's my thoughts on The Witcher right now. I'm actually gonna tally up how long I've been in this, but because the game is so long and there's a bunch of stuff to do already, I'm just going exploring the place before going anywhere else. And actually, I do like the setup they have here. It's that Geralt has literally been away from Yennefer for years with amnesia, right, as far as the games are concerned. So, while most people be rushing off to, you know, do the things, right now it's just finding Yennefer. So, it makes sense Geralt be like, look, I need supplies, I'm going to look around this area a bit. Look, you argue he's looking for clues. Yeah, they're up there, but, you know, he might find her wandering around. Let me look around the sites. Maybe she left a trail somewhere. Who knows? Rather than just rush off. I mean, it depends on how you roleplay. Me, personally, I believe I went over this in a previous video. I like to get all the side quests and extra stuff done first, because if I'm facing the Wild Hunt, which I know, I'm not, like I said, I know the Wild Hunt is not just I know basically what it is. Again, I've read some of the books and, you know, other things like the King of the Wild Hunt appears in the first Witcher game. But yeah, I'm going to tally this up, so until I say otherwise next time, this video, which I think counts as my 3 to 5 hour mark, it's got the good stuff, right? Combat is fluid, if a bit easy, even if I'm just dumb at it. Storyline, it's well acted. You know, they put money into that. It fits my criteria for there. It had a hook from the beginning, whether that was because it just because it's The Witcher and I've experienced the other media to it, the other games. Yeah, I'll leave for some debate. You know, judging on its own, I would say the first hour of this, it's like you get in, they show you Gwent, they give you a simple fight. They give you all the good stuff and they show you how it works. So I would say, you know, if you didn't I would say there's less in it if you didn't play the others, because you're not going to know who Yennefer and Vesemir are. You're not going to have any idea who they are. Even if you played The Witcher 2, who the heck is Vesemir? You just know he's looking for Yennefer. Okay. So, who's this little girl called Ciri? What is all this? So I think it benefits from having some prior knowledge. The first Witcher didn't care about that. It's just like, you're Geralt of Rivia, this is the Witcher world, here's some people. Yeah, this guy owes you, this person likes you, etc., etc. They give you some tips here and there. It's good.
Run, Roach.
But overall, it's you roleplaying how you want to roleplay. The Witcher 2, more or less the same thing, but it's a bit more original because it's less bolted.
Place of power. Should draw from it.
So I'd say, like, yeah, the first hour definitely benefits from having prior Witcher experience. That's a good way to put it. And other than that, it's yeah, I think it's good. I'm gonna hold judgment on the legendary greatest game of all time, because, you know, Kingdom Hearts exists, the first one. It's my favorite game of all time. Yes, I'm well aware of how superior, technically, Kingdom Hearts 2 is to it, as in Kingdom Hearts 3. And I don't care what anyone says. Gameplay-wise, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best Kingdom Hearts. Storyline-wise, I mean...
Should draw from it.
Okay. It could have used more work, maybe another year. But then again, I just don't know After that many years in development, you know they were doing other stuff. I mean, I don't think anyone would have been completely happy with it. Getting off topic. If you guys want to see the Kingdom Hearts series, I'm more than happy to replay that. More than happy. I would prefer a new capture card for that though, but yeah, another time. So, trying to think here. What am I trying to say? What else is there to say on this matter? Yeah, it's good. So far, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is good. Okay, first hour in. I think that's what I'm gonna do from now on. If I ever pick up another game and whatnot, I'll do it based on like, you know, hours in. Some of them, depending on their length, could be a little different. Like, oh boy, back up, back up. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Get some water in you. Yes. That. Do this thing. I use more of that. This is one, like when I say challenging, it's more like they can hit you. They can hit you like a truck and whatnot. And they'll do a significant amount of damage. So, but once you know how to dodge, you're good. Get his arm off. I'm trying to think of the right way. I'm running out of words. Obviously, I'll have a final verdict at the end of this game. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be sitting down here every single side quest all the time, everywhere. Not that I don't want to do it, but, you know, there are points where it's like, yeah, no. Yeah, like I said, after I tally this up, gameplay's good, story's good. Great right now? No. I'll see how the fights go later on. That's good loot. But I think that, you know, I think that's honestly enough for now about my ramblings. Probably should do a blog, reviews. Maybe able to get new games more often though. I got the new Resident Evil 2. Probably want to review that. Tell me what you think, guys. Maybe think I should do that. Maybe I should do a review, a playthrough and a review series of games. You know, first hour in, first 3 hours in, and then do the first 3 hours in, and then the first and then completion. Some games obviously be a little difficult, like say something like Total War, because your first hour in and your first 5 hours in, okay, it won't be that different. Just different units, different tactics, and completing the game could take a very long time, you know? Like,
come on.
I don't know, because I've been playing Total War Warhammer recently as well, and I haven't beaten it, because I don't know why. Maybe I'm bad at tactics or bad at the controls. Well, that came from a horse. I figure a horse that travels with Garrett would be like huh. Anyway, guys, so I want to know what you guys think about what I'm saying. You know, do you agree with me, disagree with me, the way I think about things? I'd love to hear your personal opinion. So please, anyone who wants to sit down and like glorify or demonize The Witcher, because I'm not, because I've seen a lot of people sit down and say it's perfect, it's perfect, it's perfect. No, nothing is perfect. Because if it was perfect, there'd never be anything better than it. And I refuse to accept that there's no way to improve things. But don't demonize it either as overrated. Okay? I'm just asking for honest opinions in your comments, guys. That's it. So, you know, hit the like button.
Ghoul nest.
Send me some comments.
Just
I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. I want to know what you guys want to say to me. If you want to say anything to me. And subscribe if you're watching this. Ooh, level up. I'll just let you sit here with Garrett leveling up for a bit. If I remember correctly, I put most of my stuff in the vitality because I feel like I'm going to need that. But yeah, should be a little button on the right, upper right of the screen for you to hit. Not really much else to say. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this go on now because I got nothing more to add. I recorded this much, so until next time. Bye bye.